Hello there, the story ninjas in the house. Well, listening ninjas, it's story time. But this time, no storybook. I found stories at www.nalibali.mobi, and they have a multilingual story library. And the library has, yes, you can imagine, plenty and plenty of stories. So you may go and find this one too. It's called Squirrel, yes, and the Sun, and you may read along with us. So I'm reading off my laptop because I haven't printed out copies. So you may find out that you could read online or you could save the story and read it another time. So let's find out what happens with Squirrel and Sun. One morning when the animals woke up, they were surprised to see that there was no sun. No sign of the sun rising in the sky, as it usually does every morning. Oh my goodness, no sun in the east? Well, what's going on? All the small animals asked their parents. Just be patient, said their mothers and their fathers. The sun must be feeling just a little bit lazy today. Soon it will rise, as usual, and we can go down to the water hole for a drink. But the animals were clearly very wrong. They waited and they waited, and the world stayed dark. After several hours, they decided to have a meeting to discuss the problem. What shall we do? Asked Hippopotamus. It's very simple, said Giraffe. We all need to look for the sun. We can't live without light. I think we do know that, eh? Total darkness would have lots of problems. The other animals agreed, so off they went, all in many different directions, determined to find the sun. Ah, Squirrel thought, I'll start by looking in the trees in the big forest. She explored every tree, where she scampered and played each day. Well, at first, she found nothing but darkness, and as she got deeper and deeper in the forest, she noticed a pale glow ahead of her. Now, wasn't our little squirrel so brave? There it is, she said excitedly. I knew I would find the sun here. I knew it. Squirrel was quite right. And after traveling for another hour, she finally found the sun, tangled up in dense branches up in a tall tree. Don't worry, Sun, said Squirrel. I may be small, but my teeth are very sharp. I'll gnaw off these branches and I'll set you free in no time at all. So I'm hoping you have a picture in your mind of our little squirrel, as tiny as she is, in a tall, tall tree, ready to free the sun. Thank you, Squirrel, groaned the sun. I've been battling to get out of this tree for hours. But the more I struggle, the more tangled I become. So the little squirrel began to nibble and gnaw at the branches. It was hard work, but she didn't give up. After half an hour, she freed the sun a little. And after another hour, wow, there were only a few twigs and branches still holding the sun in the top of the tree. But now Squirrel had a problem. Oh my gosh, let's find out. The more branches she gnawed away, the hotter sun burnt. Squirrel began to sweat. Shoo! Soon she smelt singeing, burning fur, smoking too. Her mouth was so dry she could hardly speak. Sorry, Sun, but I can't carry on, she croaked. Your heat is just too strong for me, and look, my tail is burning. The sun was desperate to get free. Please, please, Squirrel, carry on. Sun said, I need to get out of this tree so I can light up the world each day. All the animals and birds and plants need my light and warmth to live. We do know how important sun is, eh? Yes, I thought you would know. Squirrel knew this was true, just like you and me. So although Her beautiful brown fur had turned black, and her tail had burnt right off. She carried on chewing away through the branches and the twigs that were still trapping the sun. More time passed, and by now Squirrel had nearly freed the sun. But her eyes were hurting so terribly that she had to close them. Again, she felt she just couldn't carry on. "Please, son," she said, "I really need to stop now. My eyes are damaged and I need to rest them." But again the sun begged her to carry on, and so she did. At last she chewed away the last scraps of bark and wood that were holding Sun back. Slowly the sun glided up into the sky, and as it did, so dawn spread a pink glow across the sky, across the whole wide world. As the sun rose, it spoke to Squirrel. "Thank you so much, my little friend," the sun said. "You have worked hard to save me, and by doing so you have also saved all the animals, the birds, and the plants. Now what can I do for you in return?" Squirrel thought for a few moments. Yes, she thought. She'd always wanted to fly. "Please give me wings," said Squirrel, "so I can fly high up in the sky." "All right," said the sun. "You now have a pair of wings, and you will be able to fly even faster and further than the birds, because you have hurt your eyes so badly. But for helping me, you will sleep in the day and wake at night. And although your eyes can't cope with the light anymore, you will be able to see and hear really, really well at night." And that is how Squirrel became a bat. You all know what a bat looks like, don't you? Yes, wings, small, very, very dark, nearly black in color, no tail. Well, let's hear a bit more. She was too busy swooping around at night to miss her tail and her brown fur and her life as a squirrel in the treetops. And even though she could no longer enjoy the sun's light, she still felt its warmth in her heart. So my little listening ninjas, I know that you've noticed how hard Squirrel worked to free Sun and how brave she was to go on that adventure or rescue mission, and that even though things weren't going very well for her, she was being burnt and her eyes were sore, she was becoming tired, but she carried on, and Sun rewarded her with something new. And even though she wasn't Squirrel anymore, she still felt the love of that sun, and she went on and she enjoyed her every day and her every night as being a little bat. So, listening ninjas, until next time, goodbye.